Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Woodrum, and I teach general chemistry here at the University of Kentucky. And I have been teaching very large lectures since I began almost 23 years ago. And I would like to talk to you a little bit about how to manage group work in a large lecture classroom. I didn't start out doing large lectures as a group work endeavor. It was always a walk-in and lecture. But recently I have seen the importance of getting my students really engaged in learning while they're in the classroom. So often they're disengaged as the lecture proceeds. So I have now divided them up into groups of 4 students. They work together on material that they have learned about by watching videos prior to coming into class. So when I say large lectures, right now I have lectures that have about 150 students in them. So it's not a huge lecture, but I could do it up to probably 300 manageably. The keys to doing this is to plan ahead and get a lot of stuff accomplished up front. One of the things I did was come into the studio and record lectures for my students to watch so that they had something to refer to as they started working in class on an activity. I recorded those lectures, they got posted into YouTube videos, but I also attached them to a website called PlayPosit. This website enables me to easily embed questions into the video so that I know that they're watching it. They'll go along a little ways, they'll be given a question to make sure that they're engaged in watching it, and it will record that grade and post it into our classroom management system of Canvas. The other thing that I had to do to plan ahead is to get a group of interns to help me. Now, what are interns? Interns here at the University of Kentucky, they have a class, experiential learning, in which they can get intern credit, and a faculty has to oversee that process. So I have 16 to 17 interns who are divided amongst my different classes who come into the classroom and walk around and help students as they're engaged in their group activity. And so I had to recruit them, I had to set up the class for them, and they helped me out. The other thing that I had to do in order to plan ahead is group formation. There's a website called CatMe that enables the students to answer a series of questions about themselves, and then you can form groups that have like characteristics put together. So all of that has to be done ahead of time. Then it becomes a classroom time, and there's a lot of logistics to have them divided up into groups. After they've been assigned a group, they're also assigned seats to sit in, and I assign them a number for their group. Everything that they do is placed in a folder for the day, and I can quickly walk across the front of the classroom and I can hand out the folders. They pass them back, and within that folder is what they are going to work on as a group. I ensure that they only have one activity per person, so they're forced to get involved in that activity. Now, to keep them engaged and going, I also utilize a classroom response system in order to have them answer questions while they're going through that activity, so that I'm keeping a tab on where they are, what they know. The other thing that I have is as the interns walk around and answer questions, and I walk around and answer questions, when I see a common mistake or a common pitfall, I can stop the class and I can do a mini lecture, get them back on task. The last thing that I would suggest is that you have more than enough to do. There were times that early on that I might run out of stuff and then have to kind of come up with something on the fly. I usually don't have that problem. After they've done the group activity, I typically can send them off to in class. I don't send them off, but I send them to their website where they do their online homework. That way they're getting started on their homework while they have the interns and myself walking around. So for me, getting them engaged in class is essential. Having them thinking about the material is essential, and practicing it while they have help.